shot by Texas that probably would rival anybody in any basketball game. Again, keep in mind, we play with a 30-second clock here in women's basketball. Etheridge with the inbound, setting some of the numbers for you. That's Beverly Williams. Etheridge, they'll play the guards outside. They really don't have one key player they try to get to. If they have one, it probably would be either Fran Harris, number 20, Andrea Lloyd, 25, or certainly Annette Smith, number 15. And that is Lloyd with the first miss and the rebound by Ole Miss. And it's Elisa Scott.
Jody Conrad said rebounding will be a key for her Texas team tonight.
Kim Bullard is their point guard, number 15. They try to get it down inside, and there's a steal by Lloyd. Texas likes to get in the open court. They do and score. Points per ball game, but Gillum is their big scorer, averaging 23. We're tied at 2 apiece.
When Texas sets up their half-court offense, they're going to try to go inside. That's their meal ticket.
And there's a personal foul call inside as they got it down to Fran Harris. And the first foul of the night on either ball club will go against Ole Miss.
Fouls are really going to be a key here tonight. Ole Miss, Sam, cannot afford to foul. They do not have near the depth that Texas has.
That depth just absolutely wears you down, as you alluded to in the start of the show. An 11-point lead by Ole Miss when they played in a Miami tournament back on December the 30th when they played. And finally, Texas just overwhelmed them with an 11-point win. At the line, a good foul shooter is Fran Harris, shoots 79%, and she gets on the board with a free throw.
She's the best shooter on this Texas team. She's the pure shooter. She's the only Texas player who has a green light, Sam, to shoot from anywhere on the floor.
By the way, neither of these ball clubs really shoot foul shots all that well should we get into a foul shooting contest. Texas 64 and Ole Miss 63, but those foul shots there are good. And it's a 4-2 game. And Bullard again in the traffic in the backcourt for Ole Miss.
A key matchup to watch, Kim Bullard and Kami Etheridge.
Just getting across the timeline, and here comes maybe that sixth man out of the stands with this big crowd here at Texas. Kim Bullard is only a sophomore.
She did not have a good game. The first time these two teams played, she was 0 for 6. Kami Etheridge really got to her.
A foul is going to be called on Lloyd as they got the bounce pass down inside to Vicki Craig. And Craig was really a star with that free throw as the time ran out against Auburn. Watch this pass.
This is really a good pass inside, and it's against a Texas team that really defends the passing lanes well. So that was a really good pass.
When you take a look at the foul shooting for Ole Miss, and keep in mind we have 2 shots coming here by Vicki Craig. She won it in the Auburn game and is only a 44% foul shooter. But Van Chancellor, their coach, said, I had a dream that you'd win one at the foul line, and lo and behold, she did.
She hit it when it counted, Sam.
It's 4-3. Texas with a scant 1-point lead. We played just a little less than 2 minutes of a 20-minute first half. Lloyd with a missed shot rebound, and here come the Lady Longhorns, and that's Etheridge in the open court. A good dish and drive. It's no good. Rebound comes off inside, and that is Myra Williams for Ole Miss. And Bullock, who will handle it about 90% of the time. Etheridge will meet her right at midcourt. Backing down. Let's watch and see how Texas plays inside on Gillum, as Bullock said, well, I'll just look.
Kami Etheridge, really the quarterback of this team. She runs both the offense and defense, and she does an excellent job of it.
Beverly Williams with some good penetration. Chase for the ball, finally saved and thrown back in nicely by Williams. As Ole Miss with a 5-4 lead. By the way, Van Chancellor, talking to you, Becky, indicated the first 10 minutes would be very important as a foul on Etheridge trying to steal the ball.
Yes, he said the first 10 minutes would be critical. He said he wants to set the tone of the game. He wants to control the tempo, slow things down. He wants to play his game tonight.
Well, right now in their half-court game, their top scorer, Jennifer Gillum, has not scored yet. As Coach Van Chancellor sits on the sideline looking on as the Lady Rebels work the basket. Jump shot outside, rattles around. Inside underneath is Craig. Here come the Longhorns with a foul by Annette Smith. Smith, on our pregame on the tees, looked helplessly as they lost to Western Kentucky. And now a charge to be called, or is that a block? It will be a block on Ole Miss. And the personal foul will be on Vicki Craig. That's her first, second team foul call on the Lady Rebels.
Texas really does a good job of drawing the offensive foul, Sam. That's one of their trademarks.
Etheridge looking for the inbound, comes into Williams, quickly down inside to Smith.
A 2-3 zone, that's what Ole Miss is playing.
And they'll slant that right off of Etheridge as they've got a push and a foul inside, and I believe that's going to go on Jennifer Gillum. It is. That's her first. 3 quick team fouls on the Rebels. Let's look at it again on the rebound as, again, the Rebels have to try to out-rebound Texas here tonight. Watches Gillum right down inside. Pushed off just as she went for the ball as Texas back to live action, has it again with a fresh 30 on the shot clock.
Sam, as you said, they'll slant off of Kami Etheridge. They're going to let her shoot. They know that's not her big threat.
Williams with a nice penetration, got her own missed shot and scored. Beverly Williams with her first basket, and Texas leads 6-5. Well, Tennessee and Western Kentucky are already in the Final Four. Bullard, kind of a bad shot there. May have been blocked by Texas. It's saved back in by Ole Miss, but it's out of bounds to Texas.
Well, both of these teams would like to get a little revenge on Western Kentucky, wouldn't they, Sam? They were both beaten by the Lady Hilltoppers in the regionals last year. Texas
in the semifinals and Ole Miss in the finals of the Mid-East. On the home floor, by the way, the Lady Hilltoppers is a steal. Initiated there by Myra Williams, and Ole Miss again in the lead. Down by one, 6-5. They bring it back up. Texas swarming defense, but Ole Miss will finally save it.
We're equal in turnovers. Each team has one.
Good one-on-one match outside. You will not see Texas in any kind of a zone other than maybe right around Gillum a bit. They'll front her and backside her, and we'll see how that works here tonight. Shot clock is down to 3 as Gillum with her first shot on the lane, and she'll get it. 7-5 Ole Miss. 15.5 to play first half. Etheridge and Williams playing at the guards. Smith again, number 15, comes out of the lane. They try to shoot around that 2-3 zone, look for some kind of penetration. Lloyd has it. She's fouled. It goes, and she fouls, and she'll get a foul shot.
Andrea Lloyd just moves so well on the basketball court, Sam. She has such fluid movements.
Well, keep in mind that Andrea, along with several of the players on this Texas ball club, have had some knee problems. As you see that heavily bandaged right knee. And the reach-in foul inside, and it's going to go on number 24. That is Myra Williams. That's her first, but again, the 14th foul already on Ole Miss.
Andrea Lloyd, a 57% free throw shooter.
And she's drilled her first shot of the night. And with that, the Lady Longhorns go up by 2. About a score of 9-7. Pressure on that inbound. In the backcourt, one-on-one, it's Williams. On
Sam,
Williams.
Ole Miss is going to have to try to help each other out in bringing the ball down. They're going to have to pass to break that Texas pressure.
Craig at the top of the key. Bullard, who has been very aggressive in shooting the ball tonight. That's her third shot, and she's made 2 of them.
She's not going to let Kami Etheridge intimidate her tonight.
That's the first tie of the ball game. This one coming at 9. 14:50 to play first half. Midwest Championship hanging in the balance is a driving layup inside by Beverly Williams.
Beverly Williams is such a great athlete, and she has wonderful moves inside to the basket.
Pass almost knocked away by Beverly Williams in the backcourt. Saved once again by Myra Williams. She's number 24. Little change here as Myra's bringing the ball up, and the bullet is all the way down the floor. And since she's getting that jump shot going, they're trying to get the ball to her right now.
Well, Van Chancellor told us that was one thing he was going to do differently this time. He's going to alternate players bringing the ball up the court.
That's a good strong move of Gillum, but it produces nothing here as Williams drives into the lane, and she's knocked down and fouled by Kim Bullard. Or is it a charge? I think they've changed it and gone back the other way, and it's Williams with a personal foul. So they will call the charge. They had indicated first it was Ole Miss with a block, but it's a charge, and Texas gives up the ball.
Let's see if she has position here.
I think, as a matter of fact, Beverly Williams just slid to the right side, and that may have drawn the charge. There's a timeout on the floor. Our score, Texas 11, Ole Miss 9.
Who says you can't have it all? Who says you can't love your work and the change of pay? Who says you can't have light beer with super premium taste? Michelob Light. Oh, yes, you can. Michelob Light. Oh, yes, you can.
Super premium taste and a less filling beer.
Michelob Light. Oh, yes, you can. Have it all.
Billy Margolis hated to paint. Then he found Easy Roller, the roller that feeds itself automatically. Now Billy paints a room in no time. No messy pans. He just fills the Easy Roller tank once in a while and keeps on rolling. Room after room. It's fast and it's easy.
Hey, Mitch. Mitch, do you have a room I could paint? Huh?
Easy Roller by Easy Painter. It might make painting fun.
Welcome back to Austin, Texas, the home court of the Lady Longhorns of the University of Texas. And they have made their first substitution of the ball game as we take a good close look at Vance Chancellor in his 8th year as the head coach of the Lady Rebels at Ole Miss. Nice record, 198-62, coming out of the high school ranks at Harrison High School in Gulfport, Mississippi. First sub for Texas, number 34, another one of those knee problems. Yolanda Wimmish out of Victoria, Texas. Number 34 is in there. And we'll see how she can play here for the Lady Longhorns. Again, it's Bullock going up against Williams, a big matchup in the backcourt. Just in time across the timeline. Again, they try to look down inside, but instead a jumper at the head of the key, and another nice one there by Scott, who gets her 4th point, and we're tied again at 11.
They know Texas will key on Jennifer Gillum. The outside players are going to have to hit. They're going to have some kind of perimeter game tonight.
Annette Smith has the ball stripped, diving after it, trying to come with it. It's not an Ole Miss has it again. Now watch how deliberate. They'll bring the ball into the forecourt. If they have a break, 9 times out of 10, they won't take it.
Turnovers, Texas has 3. That's unusual for them this early, Sam.
Well, they average only a total of 19 for a whole ball game, 17 for Ole Miss. There's Gillum trying to force her way into the basket, and we've got a charge call on Gillum. So Jennifer Gillum making a turn and trying to go for the hoop. Let's pick up the replay and take a look at this one again, Becky.
Well, here comes Jennifer Gillum. She's such a big player, a physical player. I believe it was a charge, Sam.
Well, Annette Smith was there, had pretty good position once again. Certainly Gillum did not agree as that comes up to be her 2nd personal foul. And that could be a key foul here for the Lady Rebels. Tied up at 11. 13-10 left to play in the first half. Shot inside. That's Smith. Look at Texas battle aboard. There's the Lady Rebels down inside, and they finally come away with it, and that's Scott again.
Ole Miss has the lead on the boards, and remember, Jody Conrad said we have to rebound well.
A personal foul will be called on Wimmish in the backcourt, trying to stop Scott. Wimmish is just a sophomore, but again has been plagued by that knee surgery. She redshirted during the 83-84 campaign, and that has been kind of catching on that Texas team. They've had a lot of injuries, including to both the Smith gals. Audrey, who is in uniform for the first time tonight, and her sister Annette. Bullish got inside. Nice pass, and look at that other shot for Myra Williams.
Once again, we said earlier, Texas defends the passing lane so well, but Ole Miss has been very effective in getting the ball inside.
Ole Miss has the lead at 13-11. Shot outside and a personal foul, and that's going to be on Scott. That'll be her 2nd. And Texas will get a couple of free throws. A chance to tie it with 2 with 12:30 to play in the first half. Don't forget, immediately following our broadcast tonight, we'll be taking to the West Finals out on the West Coast, and that should be a great one. Southern Cal will, of course, the great Miller going up against Louisiana Tech. That'll be the next of the finals out west on ESPN. Beverly Williams, a 66% foul shooter, gets her first, much to the delight of the mascot here at Texas.
Beverly just broke into the starting lineup this year. She's one of the finest 2 guards in the country, Sam.
Well, she shoots foul shots mighty nice, too, as they put them all down. And Texas, so far, perfect at the line, 5 for 5. A little trouble getting the inbound. Nice play by Ole Miss. You can throw the ball down the baseline, which they did. Caught Texas a little aback, and they got the ball in nicely. That's Gillum's main move. She turned thinking the ball was in, and it tried to hop back out. Long down-court passes again. We have a 2-point lead by Ole Miss, and Texas owning the ball, 15-13.
Ole Miss really playing good transition defense. They're really getting down the floor fast, Sam.
Williams has kind of taken things in her own hand, and now we have a rebound down inside, and it comes from Ole Miss, Craig, and she'll be fouled. And the personal foul will be on Wimmish, and that'll be her 2nd personal foul. So with the rebound, again, a key part of tonight's basketball game on both ends, and it is not a place for the timid as substitutions start to come back out on the floor here for the Texas Longhorns again. And checking in for the first time tonight is number 22, Gay Hemphill, number 22. Also in for Ole Miss, is Cynthia Autry. And Coach Chancellor indicated the bench has got to play well tonight, and Autry is certainly a vital part of that. Gillum, off-balance shot, almost got it to go down as she was fouled on the inside. Personal foul is going to be on Carissa Davis, just a freshman out of San Antonio.
Let's take a look at this turnaround jumper. She learned basketball in her backyard. She had 9 brothers and sisters, enough to have a 5-on-5 team. She learned some great moves from her brothers and sisters. Her sister Peggy, by the way, is an assistant coach at Ole Miss. She was the leading all-time scorer at Ole Miss, and she is followed by her sister Jennifer.
I tell you what, I'll still take Jennifer on my team. I'll tell you that. First foul shot by Jennifer Gillum. By the way, the foul was credited to Kami Etheridge. That's her second personal foul rather than on Davis. So that's a key foul as well against Texas as Gillum gets ready to shoot another free throw. And so far, the Lady Rebels are only 2 out of 4 in foul shooting. They have the lead at 16-13, their biggest lead, but quickly down the other way, Wimmish will cut into it. 1 point. Ole Miss lead with 11.5 to play in the first half. One of these teams on to the Final Four against Western Kentucky. The other, the season is over. Gillum in all kinds of trouble underneath, but on her back. They may call that on Lloyd, and that will be a foul on Andrea Lloyd.
So far, Sam, Texas has been unable to deny Jennifer Gillum the basketball. Now, they're playing what they call a double-down defense on her. They're going to try to get one player in front of her to keep her from getting the basketball, but if she does get the ball, they've got Andrea Lloyd right behind her to try to keep her from getting the basket. But so far, they've been able to get that ball inside to her.
Gillum already with 5, make it 6 points as she makes the foul shot. 3 of 5 at the line tonight by Ole Miss. And they'll make a substitution back in comes Scott, and going out of the ball game will be Autry. So Scott, one of the starters, back in for the Ole Miss Lady Rebels. And at the line, Gillum with 6, looking for number 7. 82, Mississippi High School Player of the Year, and All-American honors last year, looking for more this year. 18-15, 3-point lead by Ole Miss. Second time in the quarter, they've led by 3. Texas's biggest lead has been 2. It's been that kind of game. Wimmish with another penetration. Good hustle for the rebound, and that's Gillum coming up with it. She let Hemphill know she was there with an elbow, unintentionally, of course. And we're at the 11-minute mark of the first half.
Jennifer Gillum was named by the U.S. Olympic Committee Female Basketball Player of the Year this year, Sam.
Ole Miss working with the basketball on the right side. Scott with a jumper on the outside. Gillum off for the rebound. Comes off finally to Lloyd. Lloyd for Texas. Etheridge almost had it stolen by Bullock. Down inside, it is finally stolen. And now Ole Miss comes up with another turnover, and that's the 4th tonight on the Lady Longhorns. Ole Miss has 2.
They're usually the ones causing the turnover, Sam. Their relentless pressure defense will do that to you, but so far that has not been the story here tonight.
10:25 left to play in the first half. 18-15 Ole Miss. Is it more? It is, as Gillum has really started to cook now. She's got 9. 5-point lead by Ole Miss. This crowd starts to get into it a little bit as the Lady Longhorns appear to need a little help at the moment.
Ole Miss really packed in tight in that zone.
And now a travel is called on Ole Miss, and that's their 3rd turnover as they'll give it back. Excuse me, the 5th turnover on Texas, so a travel on the Texas Longhorns will give it back to Ole Miss. Ole Miss with a lead, 20-15 against number 1 seeded Texas. Back in a moment.
Look how one...
974 win over Rutgers.
So they're waiting for the winner of this game. Elsewhere, it was Tennessee. What a battle with LSU. They finally won 67-65. Game seen earlier on ESPN. Here it is Ole Miss leading Texas 20-15. Southern Cal and Louisiana Tech later tonight out west.
Sam, before the game, Van Chancellor told us that if Jennifer Gillum can get 30 to 35 points tonight, they're in the basketball game. So far, she has 9 points and 2 rebounds. She's the big factor.
Well, you add that up over halftime. She had 18 and then added up to 36. A miss by Ole Miss, and here comes Texas. Keep in mind, Texas has been substituting almost at will. They've got a fresh group on the floor once again as Harris along with Williams stay there. Outside, it's Wimmish call for a travel in Texas that normally creates turnovers for the other team, an average of 24 per game, have turned it over 6 times already tonight. So it's Ole Miss with a 5-point lead, their biggest of the evening, and the ball back again here. And what Ole Miss is doing here, Becky, is keeping this big crowd out of the basketball game right now.
You know, I think Texas is a little on edge right now, Sam. This is the game, this is the regional championship that they have not been able to win so far. They want it very badly, and I think they're playing a little tight right now.
You know, one of the things that Van Chancellor had told us before, he says, you know, a big hometown crowd can sometimes play very much against the home team. He can kind of make you play, as you pointed out, a little tight, a little tentative. He said, hey, we come in with nothing to lose. He said that with tongue-in-cheek, I'm sure.
The hometown fans want to win this one just as badly as the players do. They want to go to the Final Four, and as you said, they can put a lot of pressure on this team.
The golden ring that Texas reached for last year as the #1 team was snatched away by Western Kentucky. And now Ole Miss is throwing a little shadow of the hopes of the Lady Longhorns. But how about that for a shot outside? Jumping it in is Gay Hemphill. 20-17 Ole Miss. 8:44 first half. There's the big score with 9. Gillum. Does she have 11? No. Rebound Texas. Harris to Williams. And again back in that 2-3 slant zone for Ole Miss.
Ole Miss has been playing such good transition defense, Sam, that Texas really hasn't been able to run like they'd like to.
Well, they're getting some good penetration down inside that zone, though. And there's another basket by Wimmish. And we're in a one-point game at 20-19. Crowd now becoming a factor. Ball swiped away, but there's going to be a personal foul to be called. It's going to go on Harris.
The thing that's going to hurt Ole Miss when Texas tries to penetrate is that they know they cannot afford a lot of fouls. They're going to have to play a little more cautiously than they would like. They just don't have the bench strength. Here's the foul.
Well, Texas already over the limit. Watch the pressure in the backcourt. The foul actually went on number 22. That, of course, would be Hemphill that reached from behind and picked up the foul. And now, with Texas over the limit with their 17th foul, it's Scott shooting free throws for Ole Miss. Scott with 5 points already early. 21-19, Ole Miss with a lead by 2.
Scott's one of the best free throw shooters for the Lady Rebels. She's got a 72% average.
You saw Cami Etheridge coming back in, number 33, the heart and soul of this ball club, the point guard. Scott with 2 foul shots.
Jody Conrad said there are 2 players that we cannot play without for any length of time, Cami Etheridge and Andrea Lloyd.
It's 22-19, 3-point lead by Ole Miss. Texas in the white on their home floor. Again, that zone keeping any kind of penetration, at least pass-wise, for Texas out of there. Good dribble drive penetration by Texas so far. Shot clock's at 7. Harris may have to try to force something. Gets Etheridge, 2 on the shot clock. Rebound, Ole Miss, but they battle for it, and Gillum finally cleans it away for Ole Miss. Shot clock was running down as they had to try to get it up. Gillum now with their 3rd rebound of the evening already.
Sam, let's look at a matchup. Jennifer Gillum is being guarded. We'll have to look at it again. But Jennifer Gillum is now being guarded by a freshman, Clarissa Davis.
By the way, that was Myra Williams with her 4th basket of the night. And again, it's a 5-point lead, Ole Miss. Ole Miss has done a great job of keeping that transition game for Texas down. It is in the half-court game where Ole Miss wants it.
Clarissa Davis trying to work free underneath. She is the 2nd leading scorer on the team, although she's not a starter.
Etheridge, a good penetration. Harris will try. If at first you don't succeed, try again, but she misses badly, and Gillum off with her 4th rebound. Ole Miss with a chance to take their biggest lead of the game. They're up by 5 right now with 6:43 to play in the half. Tennessee and Western Kentucky watching our ball game after their victories today. A travel call on Ole Miss, only the 3rd turnover, and Texas will get it back. Jody Conrad, she is in her 10th year at Texas, her 17th overall, will send Andrea Lloyd back out on the floor, and also Annette Smith.
And this is what will eventually wear you down, Sam. It's happened time and time again. Texas can run that pressure defense, they can run the break, and keep bringing a fresh player in.
You can see double in turnovers, Texas against Ole Miss. That is uncharacteristic of the Lady Longhorns, but Ole Miss has created some problems for them. Joy Eichelberger, number 10, is outside on the front of that zone along with Bullock. That is Lloyd with a good power move and score. Andrea Lloyd with her 5th point of the night. 24-21, Ole Miss. 6:13 to go in the first half. Bullock has put on quite a show as a sophomore, but promptly throws it away. Lloyd throws it out of bounds, and the turnovers have a way of equaling themselves out. It's 7-4, Texas. Ole Miss with the ball once again in the backcourt. Texas pretty much back in with their starting lineup again of Beverly Williams, Annette Smith, Fran Harris, Andrea Lloyd, and Cami Etheridge back in there again for Texas. off the baseline. This is a good-looking player in Elisa Scott with a total of 8 points tonight already for Ole Miss. And they do lead 26-21.
Elisa Scott's premier defensive player in the league, but she's really come on as a scorer lately.
Texas patiently trying to get that penetration. Lloyd will miss, and Gillum cleans off her 5th rebound. Under 5.5 to play in the first half. It has been all Ole Miss, tempo-wise and otherwise, here tonight at Texas. Etheridge trying to draw a charge there on Bullock. Down inside, good drive, and the first basket of the night by Cynthia Autry. It's 28-21, a lead of 7, the biggest of the night by Ole Miss.
Sam, Ole Miss reserves were unable to score Thursday night in the semis against Auburn, but they've already got a basket here tonight.
Keep in mind also, Ole Miss built up to an 11-point lead on Texas the last time they played December the 30th down in Miami. Penetration inside won't stay. Gillum had the rebound knocked away and saved by Texas with a fresh 30 on the shot clock. Williams with a jumper this time. Beverly will get it down for her 8-point, and it's 28-23 Ole Miss. Texas now drops their defense back a little further, just almost a one-on-one. Williams against Bullock. Ole Miss trying to spread the floor a little bit, but watches Gillum. Again is fronted. First of all, inside by Harris, from behind by Lloyd. The jumper out of the corner. Texas rebound Williams. Texas in the open court. Bounce pass stolen. Scott with another key steal for Ole Miss.
Kami Etheridge is really not playing her game tonight, Sam.
Turnovers doubled. Texas 8, Ole Miss 4. Trouble in the backcourt. Bullock bounces it ahead. Fran Harris makes the steal, knocks it off of Ole Miss. It belongs out of bounds to Ole Miss, they say.
But that's what I meant earlier when I said Ole Miss is going to have to help each other out to get the ball past the half court.
So as Ole Miss continues to dominate 28-23, we'll be back with 3:51 to go.
Who says you can't have it all? Who says you can't love your work and you change your face? Who says you can't have light beer with super premium taste? Michelob Light. Oh yes you can. Michelob Light. Oh yes you can.
Super premium taste and a less filling beer.
Michelob Light. Oh yes you can. Have it all.
May I help you? She's one of the premier defensive players in the Southeast Conference, and she does a great job, a great steal there. But Texas is going to have to come to the basketball. They're not moving on offense like they normally do.
Well, Texas defensively got Ole Miss into some trouble here just before the timeout. Ball was finally batted out of bounds. Last touch there and kicked by Harris. The ball was last touched by Ole Miss, but Harris finally sent it further out of bounds, and Ole Miss gets the ball back again. Ole Miss leading 28-23. Sam Smith along with Becky Dixon at courtside of the University of Texas. So far, the Texas Longhorns shooting only 9 of 23 for 39%. Ole Miss shooting 11 of 21 for 52. Good. Bringing the ball ahead by Myra Williams, and she gets her 6th point of the game, and it's 30-23.
Ole Miss really taking the ball to Texas. They're not letting them get to them.
Well, you mentioned that Scott was one of the best in the Southeast. She came up with another one. That's 9 turnovers on Texas early.
You know, Elisa Scott re-injured a recurring knee problem Thursday night. She could barely walk at the end of the game, Sam, so she's probably not at full speed tonight, but look at what she's been able to do so far.
Whatever the pregame meal was, it worked. Ole Miss with a 7-point lead. Third time in the half they've led by that. Their biggest lead, Texas, led by only 2 early in the game. Shot clock's down to 2 as Ole Miss gets it off, but Texas rebounds the miss. They start to run as Lloyd throws on the brakes in the forecourt. Texas now has got to get some baskets every trip up the floor to kind of get themselves a little momentum. Ole Miss knows that, and they'll pack that zone back in. Lloyd is the one they want to get it to. If not, it's Harris on the other side, and boom! Fran Harris, the best outside shooter for the Lady Longhorns, proves it with a basket down the wing.
Texas is not a perimeter team. They like to go inside, but their inside game's not working tonight. They're going to have to find someone who can hit.
2:25 to play in the half. Good give and go. Underneath, that's Gillum. Layup, yes.
Texas got caught that time.
11 points by Gillum. And now Texas wants to take a timeout. So as the Lady Longhorns find themselves down with a score of 32-25, again, the Ole Miss Lady Rebels, boy, they move in that basketball well. Here, Becky, as they get a rather easy basket.
Jennifer Gillum finds herself open underneath the basket, all by herself. Texas often will overplay you on defense, and that's what you want to do, is try to get inside, get behind them, Sam.
11 points by Gillum. Ole Miss 32, Texas 25. While the Lady Longhorns of Texas, the number 1 seed, are bringing the ball in the forecourt against Ole Miss, down 32-25, down by 7. Ole Miss in the blue, Texas on the home floor in the white. They have had turnover problems already with a total of 9 as we're under 2 minutes to go in the first half. Etheridge, who does not shoot much from the outside, misfires and they battle for the rebound and a personal foul call. That appears to be on Vicki Craig, number 35. That is the call, and that'll be her second of the evening. And with that, Ole Miss goes over the limit and at the line. Annette Smith will shoot one, and the penalty here for the Lady Longhorns.
Annette Smith, one of the greatest comeback stories in the history of women's basketball. 2 years ago, a very serious knee injury. The doctor told her to take up chess, but after a year and a half of rehabilitation, she's back, Sam.
She misses, but her teammate Beverly Williams with her 10-point finishes it off. 32-27, Ole Miss. A minute 39 to go in the half. Ole Miss has put the ball exactly where they wanted in the half court. Texas had slowly tried to build up the tempo here near the end of the half. But Ole Miss with some good shooting, and they battle for the ball. Texas gets it. 5-point difference. It has been as many as 7 tonight. The Texas crowd, numbering almost 10,000 here tonight, on their feet as they welcome the Longhorns in the forecourt.
This is a key possession for Texas. They need to try to get some momentum going before the half.
Equally key for the Lady Rebels of Ole Miss, and they may have come up with another great steal. They do. That is Vicki Craig with a steal. That is now 10 turnovers in the first half for Texas.
A very unusual story for Texas. They're not used to being in that position. As we said, they're the ones who usually cause the turnovers.
There's a turnover by Ole Miss.
Yes, they did.
In the open court, Trent Harris may take it all the way. Rebound, Gillum for Ole Miss. Excuse me, that is going to be Vicki Craig. Excuse me. Ole Miss doing the number they want as again Texas got good penetration by Harris. May have forced a shot up. One quick pass out, another quick pass back, and she might have had a little better shot. 32 seconds all to go in the first half. Clock as you see there. Harris initiates another steal. Beverly Williams in the open court. She's fouled and will shoot 2. Personal foul on Myra Williams. Again, Williams in the open court with the basketball after the steal initiated by Harris.
Turnovers really a factor for both teams this evening, Sam.
Well, there was no doubt that she was going to take that basketball to the basket and did. Drew the foul and now shoots 2. Beverly Williams already with 10 points. She averages 11.3. That one will just about get her home here in the first half. More importantly for the Lady Longhorns, it's 32-28. The Rebels lead down to 4. Eichelberger, Joy checks back in, 5'9", a transfer student from East Central Junior College in Decatur, Mississippi.
The first time these two teams played, remember, Ole Miss held on to a 3-point lead at the half after leading by as many as 11 earlier.
Well, that 3 points is on the board right now. 32-29, 19 seconds. Ole Miss will hold for a final shot in the half. The drama at Texas now becomes a little more acute as the Lady Longhorns have come from 7 down and have it down to 3. 6 seconds left. You see the clock winding down. What will Ole Miss do? They may not get a shot. Scott will get it up. It'll count if it goes. It does not, and that's the end of the first half. So an emotional builder for the Lady Longhorns of Texas. They've come from 7 down to cut it to a 3-point lead. But the Lady Rebels of Ole Miss have played the half they wanted to play. As they go to the dressing room to talk over strategy for the second half, we're at halftime for the Midwest Regional Championships on the court of the University of Texas in Austin. Our score, the Lady Longhorns trailing Ole Miss for the score of 32-29. A big second half to come. Don't go away. We'll return in a few moments.
Point 79.
I don't want to, like drugs and drinking. I feel fortunate to have friends who back me up when I say no. Sometimes it's not easy to say no, but at all times it's important to say no to drugs and no to irresponsible drinking. With my friends behind me, I've got a lot of good times ahead. You will too, if you can stand up to the pressure. After all, you can't be a hit when you're high.
Something to think about from the NCAA.
Was penetrated and also shot the ball well.
Myra Williams is a good perimeter player. She's really come into her own this year. She has a knack for making things happen. And here, Sam, she does it all by herself. All alone, she brings the ball down the floor, and she's going to stop for a jumper here. A good night for Ole Miss from the perimeter as well. And that was one thing they were going to have to do tonight, is shoot from outside.
Well, when that's not happening outside, indeed they do try to get it down inside. Texas has not been able to control Jennifer Gillum as they work it on the baseline. You saw her with a layup a moment ago. Now watch as she gets the turnaround jumper. She has come up with a total of 11 points already in this ball game tonight.
She's the key to the basketball game for Ole Miss. Jennifer Gillum, 11 points, as you said. Sam, remember Van told us earlier, Van Chancellor said, for us to be effective tonight, for us to win, Jennifer is going to have to get 35 points. Now, her scoring fell off a little bit right before the half, but the Ole Miss players from the outside made up for that.
Well, right now, Beverly Williams is the only bright spot for Texas, shooting over that 2-3 zone. She has put a couple of jumpers down. As a matter of fact, is the top scorer with a total of 12. But when all of the Longhorns try to penetrate, they're getting inside but not doing anything with it.
They've got the good moves to get inside. They're able to get inside, but they've not come away with 2 points when they're able to get in there. An interesting thing, Sam, tonight, as we said, Beverly Williams, the leading scorer. She's a sophomore. The senior players on this Texas team have not played well. I think they're pretty tight tonight. They want this one so badly.
Well, let's show you the kind of jump shots outside that Beverly Williams is being able to put down. Now, watch as the 2-3 zone is being packed down below the foul line, and watch the good release of the ball here by Williams. She's a good shooter with 12 points already tonight.
She's a great athlete. She has very good athletic ability.
Now watch as Texas tries to continue to get the ball down inside, try to pack it down throughout the entire first half of the ball game, and this has been their big problem right here.
Annette Smith trying to get inside. She does get inside, but again, she doesn't come away with the 2 points, and Annette Smith has not had a good game tonight.
It's the depth of the Texas Longhorns against the ball club that right now controls the tempo of the first half. Ole Miss, they lead 32-29. Second half will be coming your way after this timeout.
I'm Carl Grant. Monday on Nation's Business Today, Silicon Valley in Scotland, and a look at the new high-tech industry in Europe, here on ESPN.
It's Intruder, chrome on chrome, stepped up seat, V-twin soul, but he don't care, he's got no doubt, it's Suzuki man, let it all hang out. Sound of the Fury, slung down low, lean and mean, he's on the roll, but he don't care, he's got no doubt, liquid cool, let it all hang out.
The 1986 Intruder, Suzuki man, Suzuki machine.
I had to try this to believe it. Generex tingles. Tells me it's doing more. Selsun Blue, no tingle.
Both have dandruff medicine, but Generex adds an extra anti-itch medicine many dermatologists recommend.
So long, Selsun Blue. Hello, Generex.
National Car Rental presents an NCAA Championship Classic. The year 1985 as St. John's makes its first Final Four appearance in 23 years against Georgetown.
When you rent one-way from most car rental companies, there are strings attached, like the drop-off charge at the end of the line, the one you pay to help get their car back. At National, there are no strings or mileage charges, because we have a whole fleet of cars available for one-way rentals, and they're just $15 a day more than our regular low daily rates. So the choice is yours. Rent one way or the other. National Car Rental, the way to go one way.
In the semifinals, the defending national champion Hoyas played a game of pressure defense and precision offense, continually turning turnovers into baskets. The St. John's points came only after tough battles with the Hoya D, as St. John's star Chris Mullen was kept in check. The year 1985 as Patrick Ewing helped Georgetown to a final showdown with Villanova.
Welcome back to Austin, Texas, where the Lady Longhorns, number 1 ranked in the country against number 11 Ole Miss. And Ole Miss with a 3-point halftime lead. Ole Miss in the blue, the Lady Longhorns in the white control the tip. Close to 10,000 anticipated for tonight's game, and they're a little bit stunned as the Lady Rebels have controlled the game, but Texas made a charge near the end of the half. And they're charging back with Annette Smith with a basket inside.
Sam, there they get the penetration, and there they get the basket. That's what they need to do.
They were not able to do that earlier in the game, along with those 10 turnovers that really took the momentum out of their game, and now it's a one-point contest.
I think we're going to see a more intense Texas team this half.
You're also going to see a more intent Ole Miss ball club trying to get the ball down into Gillum if they can. Gillum is number 22, 13th best scorer in the country, averaging just over 23 points per ball game. And there she is, but misses. Look at Scott with a rebound and scores. 10 points by Elisa Scott.
Texas not getting good position on the rebounds that time. They were not blocking out.
Texas has a rather balanced attack. Other than Harris, number 20, who likes to shoot on the floor, they try to get the ball inside if they can, and it's tough against the 2-3 zone. We work with a 30-second shot clock. It's down to 10. And there is Harris off the wing. Texas with a very few of their second follow-up shots, and Beverly Williams with her 14th point of the game.
Beverly Williams been doing it all tonight for the Lady Longhorns. A lot of pressure on the inbounds pass.
We have played a minute and a half of the second half, and again, it's 34-33 Ole Miss. We have been tied twice, the last time way back early in the half at 11. A turnaround by Gillum, another missed shot. The rebound down inside, and a fine follow-up basket by Vicki Craig for her third point.
Texas has got to come up with more defensive rebounds. That way they can get their press going. They're getting blocked out.
Good penetration by Fran Harris, and she'll score. Only 6 points tonight by the senior out of Dallas South Oak Cliff, who averages nearly 14 a game, and she's got it into a one-point contest again. We've got a momentary stop in the action. I think Ole Miss wants to call a timeout. They do. So Ole Miss with a lead at 36-35, just underway in the second half. It is Ole Miss 36, Texas 35.
Who says you can't have 100% imported hops and a less filling beer? Old World Aging and a less filling beer. Smooth super premium taste and a less filling beer. Michelob Light, the best of both worlds.
Michelob Light, oh yes you can. Have it all.
The horse, one of the world's most powerful domesticated animals. Now this small pickup, the tough 86 Ford Ranger STX, has harnessed unbeaten horsepower in a small pickup. Now Ranger has 140 horses under its stylish hood in a new improved V6 engine. More horsepower than even Toyota's turbo. And Ranger's 140 horses mean down-to-earth power. Power to run. Power for real driving fun. The Ford Ranger STX Super Cab, voted 4x4 of the year. Get 9.9% financing on...
The NCAA Midwest Regional Finals are being brought to you here tonight as we look at action from the Texas Longhorns and the Ole Miss Rebels. The Lady Rebels right now with only a 1-point lead. And other than the TV timeouts called early, this is the first timeout taken by Ole Miss. And watch as Scott works inside for a 10-point for Ole Miss.
Sam, we've talked a lot about Jennifer Gillum tonight, but Elisa Scott, who could barely walk at the end of Thursday night's game, has really been effective. 10 points.
Poor shooting in the first half by Texas has been overcome with a 3-for-4 shooting second half, 75%. Ole Miss 50% so far. And a do-it-all player on the outside. Williams misses, and here comes Texas in the game they love. Williams between the leg dribble. Etheridge, they swing it very nice inside to Lloyd, knocked away and saved inside, and another fine play by Vicki Craig.
Again, Texas had the fast break going. They had gotten the defensive rebound, but Ole Miss playing such good transition defense. They're down there.
That could have given Texas a lead if they've gotten a basket there, but they do not, and Ole Miss still leads it by 1.
And it could have also gotten the crowd into the game because they love that Texas break.
You could hear them as this is Gillum working down inside. Look at her just push off on Smith, getting to the hoop, and there's Williams with the rebound. Etheridge in the open court. Andrea Lloyd also coming off some knee surgery of her own. Down inside, and Annette Smith blocked, and a foul is going to be called, and they'll call it on Craig.
The Ole Miss players thought they got the block on that one.
So Annette Smith down inside, getting at least something going underneath, but gets fouled and will go to the line and shoot 2 free throws. a Kodak All-American, injured March 3rd, 1984, reconstructive knee surgery. They say she's probably one of the most dedicated athletes to get back and play that they've ever seen around Texas, or for that matter in the Southwest Conference.
They're certainly glad to have Annette Smith with them. She's the heart of this team. That's what Jody Conrad told us yesterday. She said, this woman is the heart of our team, and look at the knee brace she has to carry around.
That's the third tie of the ball game at 36, and Texas now leads. Ole Miss
going to inspire Texas pressure defense. Look at the press.
Ole Miss has to overcome not only the Longhorn, the Lady Longhorns, but the noise in the arena. Scott in the backcourt.
A great pass by Kim Bullard. She sees the entire floor very well. She's been so poised tonight.
Good alley-oop pass over the top, and that's an excellent play. Scott inside to Craig, and Ole Miss kind of quietens the crowd for a moment.
A good matchup for Ole Miss back there because Scott was left all alone with Kami Etheridge.
16 minutes, 15 seconds to go. Midwest Regional Championships. The winner on against Western Kentucky as the ball is poked out of bounds. Again, a beautiful play by Ole Miss, and it's set up right here by the pass.
An alley-oop inside.
That is nice in anybody's league. Ole Miss with that basket, taking the lead back at 38-37. Texas trying to work against the zone. They try to alley-oop inside, nothing doing. That is Clarissa Davis, by the way, number 24, and that's Etheridge with a basket, her first point of the night, and Texas leads by 1.
Texas said they were going to give Kami Etheridge her shot.
Good calm play in the backcourt by Myra Williams. I've been impressed by her play tonight. She has been just super.
Myra Williams is a player, Van Chancellor said, who has really come into her own this year. She's had a great year. She's really beginning to shoot well. She's got a knack for making things happen.
She gets her own missed rebound, and she comes back outside and sets up a play again. They have a fresh 30, by the way, on that shot clock, which is down to 19. Nice pass by Bullock, and an equally nice driving layup by Scott, who now has a dozen points.
Van Chancellor says Bullard is the best point guard he's ever coached, and she has a great ability to see the entire floor as she saw the open player there.
5 minutes gone in the second half. 40-39 Ole Miss. Etheridge. This is Harris. Good shooter down the wing and proves it. Fran Harris with only 8 points, and Texas is back in the lead. 41-40. Well, if you thought that Tennessee-LSU ball game earlier today on ESPN was something, you ain't seen nothing yet. Ole Miss and Texas, and as Becky called it, an old-fashioned Texas shootout tonight.
They've seen a lot of them here, haven't they, Sam?
Scott, yes. 14 points now by Alicia Scott. She averages 13. She's over her limit now.
Van Chancellor said we're going to be loose. We're going to come in here and play tonight like we've got nothing to lose, and so far the Lady Rebels have been able to do that. But Texas is answering now.
Well, as Jolie Conrad said, one of the best-kept secrets in women's high school basketball, Clarissa Davis down in San Antonio J gets a basket, and the Lady Longhorns lead again. Gillum poked away by Smith, saved outside. Oh, right in the hands of Williams. The Texas Lady Longhorns have got a 3-point lead, and this crowd is on their feet. The block by Annette Smith. Williams tried to save, but right into Beverly Williams' hand.
Pure athletic effort here by Beverly Williams. She's one of the best athletes on this team.
16 points by Williams already. And that brings this crowd to their feet as she takes it up and in, and a 3-point lead, biggest lead of the night by Texas.
She did 2 things. She got the 2 points and really got the crowd on their feet, Sam. They're standing now.
Well, Ole Miss was forced into taking another timeout. That's their second timeout they've taken in the half. As Bullock now works against that pressure for Ole Miss. She picks up the dribble. Over and back is going to be called as Scott jumped from the forecourt into the backcourt, and a turnover on Ole Miss.
Somebody's got to help. They've got to help each other out bringing the ball down the floor. They cannot dribble it. They're going to have to break the press with the pass.
And now Ole Miss does take a timeout. 13:29 to go. Texas 45, Ole Miss 42. On ESPN is brought to you by Michelob Light, super premium taste and a less filling beer. Who says you can't have it all? Sam Smith, along with Becky Dixon, we're at the University of Texas in Austin. The Lady Longhorns, with their biggest lead of the ball game, 45-42, have come from behind to take the lead on Ole Miss. And they try to add to it, but they won't get it there. By the way, a little mix-up. I don't want to miscredit the timeouts. Ole Miss did call 2 timeouts. The one just prior to the final full timeout was a mix-up at the scorer's table. So Ole Miss has used only 2 timeouts, but now, with their 9th turnover of the game, Texas with a chance to go up by 5. Texas battling the board. Davis. She'll finally get it.
That's what Texas needed to do. They needed to get those second and third shots. They're shooting 87% right now in the second half, and that's a big difference.
47-42, a 5-point lead by Texas. Ole Miss looks like they may be tiring here, Becky.
That's what happens so often against this Texas depth. You eventually will wear out both physically and mentally, and we've seen some signs of that happening tonight.
12 minutes and 41 seconds to play from Texas. The winner to meet Western Kentucky, the team that knocked both these teams off last year in the Mid-East. Good follow-up by Gillum. Will it go? It does. That's the first basket since way back when in the first half, however, by Jennifer Gillum. She has 13 for the game, and it's a 3-point contest. Texas with a lead.
Ole Miss really going to have to dig down, reach deep, come up with everything they've got.
Davis with a turnaround. She's fouled and will shoot 2 as Gillum gets in on the arm, and that's her 3rd. Checking back in for Ole Miss is Myra Williams, who has kind of created things. She'll be the ball handler as Bullard just takes a rest, and she is fatigued, as you can see on the side.
Anyone who plays against Cami Etheridge is going to be fatigued. She is a relentless pursuer. She is the most motivated player, most determined player I've ever seen, Sam.
3rd foul again on Gillum as she is in foul trouble here, and at the line is Clarissa Davis. Out of San Antonio, John Jay High School, averages 13 a game, makes the foul shot to give Texas a 4-point lead.
A critical foul for Gillum. Ole Miss cannot afford to play without her.
Davis, by the way, was a Parade Magazine All-American both in basketball and in volleyball. In San Antonio, Jody Conrad, who's tried to build her program with the best from Texas, said this truly was the best of last year.
She said if there's a better freshman basketball player in the country, I want to see her.
Well, she may have her opportunity with some other great freshmen in the NCAA playoffs, and right now, Texas has a 5-point lead, but Ole Miss is not finished yet. 12:05 to play, second half. It was all Ole Miss in the first half.
With
Texas.
3 fouls, Jennifer Gillum may not be able to be as physical inside.
There's the jumper by Gillum, though. She can step outside and hit it for 15.
When she shoots from out there, she doesn't have to be too physical, does she?
Etheridge, the ball handler, number 33. Good penetration, good dish off, and that's Wimmish. The left-hander has it. 51-46 Texas. There is one thing that Myra Williams, along with Kim Bullard, will do tonight. They'll go to sleep with a view of Etheridge and Williams right in front of them as they've been there all night, the full length of this floor.
We talked about Etheridge's determination, Sam. She once rode the last 3 miles of a 9-mile bicycle leg in a triathlon on a flat tire.
Gillum, she's keeping Ole Miss in this thing with her 6th point of the quarter, 17th of the game, and it's a 3-point game. 51-48. Etheridge is that kind of competitor that races you to the water fountain just to see who wins.
She was here 30 minutes shooting before any of the other players. Jody Conrad says she's always the first player at practice. She's the last one to leave. She's a gym rat.
Well, there she is, and she gets a basket to make it 53-48. She even wanted to come over and help me on my tees tonight, as I had her name inside our graphics that showed you some of the Texas and Ole Miss plays. She said, could I help you? I said, no, you just shoot baskets. I'll try to do this. Thank you. 10.5 to play, second half. Texas up by 5 again.
Ole Miss tiring a little. They're not moving as well on offense as they were.
And they're also only getting 1 shot at the hoop. Etheridge, what a lead pass for Williams, and what a basket.
And Ole Miss's transition defense is not as quick as it was in the first half either, Sam.
Just a sensational lead pass ahead by Cami Etheridge, and it resulted in a basket inside, and Beverly Williams gets her 18th point of this ball game, and Texas goes up by 7. their biggest lead of the game, matching that of Ole Miss. Remember now, we were tied at 36 all as we started this quarter. Started the half, excuse me. Gillum pulls up a little short. Battle for the rebound. We've got a jump ball. Kami Etheridge, Becky, you pointed out as a heart and soul, and here's a perfect example.
She has average physical talent. You look at her statistics, they're certainly not great, but she plays with all heart.
I tell you what, that was a Willie Mays play to catch that ball over the shoulder and get it down on the floor and up for Beverly Williams. Jump ball. Davis coming up against Craig as again the turnovers. They've evened here. Texas has not turned it over here in this half. It's 10-9. Gillum with a good pass, good jump inside. Had to step out of the lane. Got a little piece of that ball knocked away, and Eckelberger cannot come up with it before Williams does. A steal down inside, and Vicki Craig gets the steal, but she falls and may have hurt herself.
Ole Miss said we respect this Texas team, but we are not in awe of them.
Vicki Craig down on the floor right now. As you see her making the steal, knocked off balance.
She's in pain.
She is. She looked like she might have hyperextended that knee just a bit as she goes down. And they can ill afford to lose. Vicki Craig, she scored but 5 points tonight, but she has been a strong rebounder in here so far for Ole Miss.
Vicki Craig is a very aggressive player, as she showed there. She's had her share of injuries, a slightly separated shoulder, knee injury.
Vicki's also one of those young ladies from Memphis, Tennessee that does not know if she's going to continue playing basketball or not. Depends on what her marital status might be.
Well, she's engaged to St. Louis Cardinal linebacker Freddie Joe Nunn. They're going to marry after this season is over. Here we see the replay.
Just kind of knocked her totally off balance. If she did not hurt her leg, it's going to be in the lower back.
She was not really hit hard. She just fell off balance.
Just off balance. She is up, and that's good news for Ole Miss fans as she shakes her head saying, I think I'm all right. By the way, Leroy Mullen is the trainer for Ole Miss. I knew I wrote that name down here for some reason. And there he is as he is going to administer along the far sideline here to, once again, Vicki Craig.
If she doesn't come back after her marriage to Freddie Joe next year, she's really going to be missed.
Cynthia Autry, by the way, number 33, has had to come into the ballgame. Ole Miss uses only 7 players. Texas so far has gone about 9 deep so far. Ball knocked out of bounds. It'll still belong to Texas on the outside. 9:17 left to play. Jody Conrad in her 10th year at Texas. This is her 17th overall. Also coached at Sam Houston State for 4. Arlington at Texas at 3. In 17 years, 436 wins, only 112 losses.
Jody Conrad said, be poised, be patient, offense and defense.
And they have Etheridge. Rebound inside comes by Eckelberger. Joy out of Louisville, Mississippi, and East Central Junior College. A foul on Wimmish as she tries to defend. And it'll be out of bounds coming to Ole Miss. Well, don't forget, coming up next, it's ESPN's coverage of the Western Regionals. Yes, it'll be Southern California against Louisiana Tech with one of those teams heading for the Final Four. Southern Cal and LSU next at 10 o'clock Eastern Standard Time on ESPN.
Cheryl Miller, finest player in the country, one of the finest.
And she'll be there along with Tim Brando and Ann Meyer that'll be doing the play-by-play for the game tonight. Ole Miss getting a basket down low to make it 55-50. 5-point game. Davis, I think too many trips inside. A turnover, that's 11 on Texas. Turnovers again, even up at 10, and now Ole Miss having 10. Texas has 11. Ole Miss has the ball back again. Substitution. Fran Harris back in for Texas. Wimmish is out. Bullock is once again back in there again for Ole Miss. She works along with Myra Williams at the guards.
To show you just how great this Texas depth is, their reserves scored 39 points Thursday night in the semifinals, while Ole Misses were not able to score at all.
Shot clock is 12 as Gillum has the ball blocked away. Good rebound inside by Autry, but it's poked away by Smith.
Gillum's tired. She's not moving as well as she was.
Etheridge with a penetration. Rebound, Ole Miss. Scott with a rebound. She dishes it off to Williams. 7:59 to go. It's a 5-point Texas lead. Western Kentucky, Tennessee already in the Final Four at Lexington next week. Will it be Ole Miss or Texas? Gillum with a basket. Hope it's the Lady Rebels as she puts down her 19th point of the game. Texas again has worked against the zone exclusively tonight. Texas has stayed in what has brought them here, and that's the man for man.
That's their trademark. They will live and die by that defense.
They'll also live and die with that kind of moves as well by Beverly Williams, and if that's any indication, they're going to go a long way. 57-52, 5-point lead Texas. Ole Miss having used up a couple of their timeouts. All of the timeouts in the first half were courtesy of the television folks, so they still have plenty left.
Jennifer Gillum only had one player on that time. Ole Miss missed an opportunity to get the ball inside to her. She didn't have a player behind her.
Ball poked away, turnover Ole Miss. Etheridge inside, good steal underneath by Scott. And I believe she'll be pushed from behind. So Etheridge with a steal on one end, and Scott reciprocates on the other end as the turnover just continued to mount here. Again, Smith pokes it away, and Etheridge comes away with it. Smith initiated the steal.
Once again, Texas is able to penetrate here, but not come away with the 2 points. Great deflection.
Pass was a little bit tentative that time by Etheridge. I don't think she really wanted to make that after she got about 3/4 of the way in, and she said, oops, I wish I had that one back. By the way, a personal foul was called on Fran Harris on the push on Scott. That's the second team foul on both ball clubs now, so neither club close to putting the other on the line with a bonus yet. Scott will be fouled by Harris, and that's her second personal foul back-to-back. And Scott will go to the line for Ole Miss, and she'll have 2 free throws with 14 points. Jody Conrad seemed to be very nervous in the press conferences early this year before all of the activity. Van Chancellor across the way seemed to be very cool, but it kind of reversed roles before tonight's game. Van got very nervous. Jody seemed to settle down a little bit, and now I know the nerves are working for both of them here as they're still mapping plays for their teams.
Van said he was going to come into this game very loose, but I don't think he's been able to do that, Sam.
Only 6 out of 9 at the foul line for Ole Miss. A total of 11 for 12 at the foul line by Texas tonight. And Ole Miss misses 2. Lloyd with the rebound, and Texas hangs on to a 5-point lead.
We talked about contrasting styles, but there's one thing both of these teams have in common. They both have excellent, excellent coaches.
They do indeed, and one of them will move on to the Final Four. There's Scott going for another steal, and now we'll have a ball out of bounds as Texas caught it on the end line. And down now with a turned ankle is one of the Texas players.
Jody Conrad wanted a foul.
That's Wimmish. Let's watch the pass again and watch this out of bounds on Texas. Wimmish had been getting bumped there a little bit by Scott and fell on out of bounds. Wimmish will come out of there as Texas makes a substitution.
Wimbish, another one of those Texas players who, as we have said, need problems.
Ole Miss with a turnover. 13 for Texas, 12 for Ole Miss. It may come down to the fact of which ball club can hang on to the ball the last. A 5-point lead for Texas right now, though. They have a fresh 30 seconds on the shot clock as they inbound it. 6:16 to go in the game.
Both of these teams tight right now. Texas is not used to being in this position with 6 minutes to go, up by only 5. They've usually pulled away by this point.
Davis pokes it out of bounds for the 14th turnover on Texas now. And Ole Miss, with 6:05, needs very desperately to get the ball into Gillum and get some results now. They have to meet the press, though, for Texas, as they have been met all night long with it. Myra Williams against Beverly Williams. No relation.
Ole Miss has really done a good job tonight of bringing the ball down. A couple of times they didn't help each other out, but for the most part, they've really broken that Texas pressure.
Very few turnovers in that backcourt, to say the least. They do turn it over in there, and here comes a turnover the other way, and the Ole Miss Rebels get it back.
Cami Etheridge almost had it.
Baseline jumper by Scott, yes. Alicia Scott, what a game she has played. She's got a total of 16 to lead Ole Miss, and they're within 3.
Jennifer Gillum's scoring has fallen off. Elisa Scott's been able to take up the slack.
Southern Cal and Louisiana Tech next from the West Coast. Tim Brando along with Ann Myers will have it for you as women's basketball continues on ESPN. Lloyd rolling for the hoop. She'll be fouled and will shoot 2. Looks like that'll be on Scott, and that'll be her 3rd.
Another another Ole Miss player, of course, that they cannot afford to play without. Their two key players now have 3 fouls, Jennifer Gillum and Elisa Scott.
You know, interesting note on Jody Conrad as we take a good look at Van Chancellor, by the way, from Ole Miss. Jody indicated before that she tried to go recruit from wherever she could. She tries to stay in Texas. She went to Moscow, Idaho, recruiting Andrea Lloyd. She said, if I can't get there in one stop on a plane, I'm not going to go. I'm just going to stay in Texas.
Took her too long to get there, too many connections. So she said the next time she went to someplace she could get without any connections, she went to Las Vegas and got C.J. Jones.
We have not seen her yet, but Lloyd out of Moscow, Idaho hits 2. And it's 59-54, Texas by 5. 5:10 left to play. The depth of Texas now starting to wear on Ole Miss. Do they have enough to stay in and come from behind? They're down by 5. Bullard across the timeline, guarded there by Etheridge. She's been in her shadow all night long. They get it away, but they'll lose underneath, and Davis with a steal. She'll be fouled as Gillum kicked her leg out just at the wrong time and gets her 4th foul.
A big factor in the game, Sam. They cannot afford to play without this player. 4 fouls. She's not going to be as physical now. Here comes the pass inside to Jennifer Gillum. She can't get to it. She actually lost her balance going after the basketball.
And as Texas gets the turnover, a timeout is called. 4 minutes and 51 seconds left to play here from Austin. The Lady Longhorns 59, Ole Miss 54. We're in the waning seconds. We'll be back.
Who says you can't love your work and you change your pay? Who says you can't have light beer with super premium taste? Michelob Light. Oh, yes, you can. Michelob Light. Oh, yes, you can.
Super premium taste and a less filling beer.
Michelob Light. Oh, yes, you can. Have it all.
Don't forget, coming up next, the quest for the Final Four in women's basketball. Southern Cal against Louisiana Tech. It's live, 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on ESPN. Tim Brando and Ann Myers will have that. It'll be either Southern Cal or Louisiana Tech joining Western Kentucky, Tennessee, and one of these two teams, Texas or Ole Miss, as our women's basketball semifinals live from Lexington, Kentucky, will continue. That'll be coming up next Friday, starting at 7 o'clock Eastern Time, 4 on the West Coast. Women's basketball going to the Final Four in Lexington. Right now, it's Texas with a 5-point lead at 59-54. Timeouts, by the way. Texas still has 4, Ole Miss 3. Texas with the ball. They again came from 7 points down at the first half. They were down by 3 at the halftime break, took a 7-point lead of their own. And now Ole Miss has steadily stayed in it, 5-3 and back. Davis, good inside move, and Clarissa scores. 8 points all in this half.
A great athlete, the best freshman basketball player in the country, Jody Conrad says. The second leading scorer for Texas, although she doesn't start. A steal for Andrea Lloyd.
There's the defense. Davis in the front, Lloyd behind, and they make the steal. Fran Harris with a block from behind, but a foul. And Texas will be up the line shooting 2.
We talked about Texas's depth and how it can eventually wear you down, not only physically, but mentally, and I think we're beginning to see that, Sam. As we take a look at Cami Etheridge, tries to pass inside, gets it inside to Clarissa Davis. A turnaround jumper, she makes it look easy.
Well, as a timeout is called on the floor with 4:14 by Ole Miss. Texas 61, Ole Miss 54. Again, the coach on the sideline, and we are over 10,000 strong here at the Special Events Center in Austin. And one of the key reasons that Ole Miss is now down 61-54, turnovers. They've had 9 in the second half, and here's one that certainly hurt them.
Here comes Andrea Lloyd. She has very long arms. She's able to come in there for the steal and dish off to Cami Etheridge.
That number officially 10,064. If my figures are correct, that could be the largest crowd to watch an NCAA women's basketball game so far. But don't forget, there's Lexington just around the corner for the Final Four next week.
And one of these teams is going to have to play Western Kentucky in Kentucky. Not an enviable job.
Both of them, however, are licking their chops. They're ready to get there. Both lost last year in the Mid-East semifinals for Texas, the finals for Ole Miss. Harris, a 79% foul shooter, missing for the first time tonight.
Jody Conrad says, I don't care who we play when we get there. I just want to go.
Look at the battle for the rebound. Davis down on the inside, and now what do we got? We've got a foul call on Ole Miss again.
They were really letting them go under the boards in there.
Scott gets her 4th personal foul. The ball will be out of bounds on the side to Texas. On the end line is Van Chancellor, the head coach of Ole Miss. Down to only 2 full timeouts. Texas with 4. 4:11 left to play. And again, Texas with their biggest lead again at 7 on the board.
Texas going to be a little more patient here. Look at the moves inside.
Beautiful. Look at the fine rebound by Gillum. They'll push it ahead, but again, they've got to get points every trip up. They're down by 7. Seven rebounds tonight by Gillum. Gillum has been rather quiet scoring-wise as a foul is called on Beverly Williams reaching in to poke the ball out of there. 4th team foul call on Texas in the half. 6 against Ole Miss. Out of bounds underneath. Gillum had 8 very quick points at the start of the half, 19 for the ball game. But they have really fronted and put a girl behind her, and she has yet to get the ball in very easy position. And there's another key as they're getting only 1 shot as Davis rebounds, and here come the Lady Longhorns.
Ole Miss cannot afford to be as patient as they would like on offense. They're going to have to take their shots quickly.
The disappointment of number 1 Texas last year when they were defeated by Western Kentucky. Not even a chance to advance to the Final Four to try to prove they were number 1, where they were at the end of the last 2 seasons, and again this year on the final rating poll. 3:20 to go as they have a 7-point lead and a fresh 30 on the shot clock with a kick ball out of bounds by Ole Miss.
At this point, you try not to think about the past 2 years, but you know it's in the back of their minds.
Lloyd will miss. Rebound Bullard. Here comes Ole Miss. 3 minutes. There's still plenty of time. And they still have a weapon in Gillum down inside if they can get it to her.
They need to go inside to Gillum. They need to go for the high percentage shots.
Keep in mind that Myra Williams along with Scott were hitting jumpers outside early in the game, but not so in the second half. Down inside, there is a foul to be called. As they broke that time, Gillum to the hoop, and a foul is called on Andrea Lloyd. Her second. 15 foul of the half on Texas. It'll be out of bounds to Ole Miss. Well, there's a timeout to be called, and Texas is going to take the timeout. That'll give him 3. As again, we have the other scores from games early this afternoon on ESPN. The Lady Hilltoppers, the ball club that'll face the winner of tonight's game, defeated Rutgers 89-74. That's in the East, and the Lady Hilltoppers looking forward to playing in the Final Four.
Only 3 losses this season. They're going to be tough to play in Kentucky.
Well, the SEC put 7 teams in the finals for the NCAA. Unfortunately, they all had to play in 2 regionals, and it came down to 2 teams playing for the finals in the Mid-East, and it was 67-65 Tennessee. Here, Ole Miss knocked off Auburn to even make it to the finals, and of course, later tonight, there'll be another of the outstanding ball clubs from this South area, not from the SEC, but Louisiana Tech going against Southern California. And Miss Miller is indeed a thing of beauty to watch, and she'll be in showcase tonight.
Well, fans will certainly be in for a treat when they get to watch her play basketball. She's the premier player in the country.
Well, several of these players here in Texas, and certainly for Ole Miss, they try to show their wares as well, and they have done a job. 19 points by Gillum, a total of 16 points by Scott to lead Ole Miss. 20 points by Beverly Williams. That's got to be a surprise for Jody Conrad, as she got that good scoring out of Beverly, averaging only 11 a game.
Beverly Williams only broke into the starting lineup this year, so her memories of the past 2 years aren't what the seniors are. They were playing a little tight early in the game. Beverly Williams playing with loose abandon.
This half, the stats have pretty well turned around as Texas has shot 62% in the half, only 46 for Ole Miss. Ole Miss trying to be as patient as they can, as much as the shot will allow them, and Gillum turns around for a 10th point in the half, her 21st of the game. That's the first time they have scored since way back when, though. It's 61-56. It's only a 5-point lead by Texas, but the clock is their ally now with 2:24 to play.
The one thing Texas wanted to do tonight was to deny Jennifer Gillum the basketball. They've not been able to do that.
Shot outside by Harris. And Fran in double figures with 10. 63-56 Texas. By the way, the previous Midwest Division record for women's basketball was only 7,600, so they shattered that on their dead run with 10,000 tonight. Gillum, another big basket. She's got 12 and a half, 23 for the game. Ole Miss stops the clock, uses up another timeout, and they've got only one full timeout left. But they're close. They're within 5, and with 1:49 to play. Now, Van Chancellor told us at the coaches' meeting yesterday he would be very careful in using his timeouts early, but if he needed to use all 5 of them in the first 10 minutes, he'd do so. He has been very prudent with them, and now, even though he has only one, he's done a good job to at least try to control what Texas has done here in the second half.
Look at Jody Conrad. I think I almost saw a smile on her face, Sam. She's talking strategy to her players right now. They're up by only 5. They're not used to being in this position right now at this point in the game.
On the other end of the floor, it is Van Chancellor. Now, you without a doubt see some more defensive pressure coming from Ole Miss, but the fatigue factor with that depth and the frequent substitution by Texas, they have paid its toll here on this ball club as they're coming into tonight's action. And it played well with a 24-7 record. Representative out of the Southeast Conference beat Auburn on the way here, 56-55 in overtime. Drake earlier, 84-71. By the way, Texas really didn't have much of a chore against their first 2 opponents. Missouri 108-67, and Oklahoma here on Thursday night, 85-59. And you saw the game, and it was a close in the first half, and they blew it wide open again.
Once again, it was the Texas depth. They will just eventually wear you out physically and mentally, and we've seen some of that happen here tonight.
Now, can Texas handle Ole Miss's pressure? We'll find out in a moment with 1:49 to play. 63-58. Texas with the lead and the ball in the backcourt. Lloyd, who normally does not handle the ball in this situation, nobody's picking her up. Finally, they do it midcourt, and she dribbles up almost uncontested.
Van Chancellor said before the game, we won't press. We won't get out of our zone unless we're forced to.
Well, they're out of it now. They're forced to as they're down by 5. Shot clock is down to 10. One of the things in women's basketball, you cannot hold it. You've got 30 seconds to get it off, and it gives Ole Miss a chance. Ball knocked away. 3 on the shot clock. A turnaround jumper by Williams. They may get a big rebound. It is Davis. She and Bullard go for it, and now we've got a foul, and it's going to be called on whom? It's on Davis. Larissa Davis gets her first personal foul of the night. Ole Miss on the 16th foul on Texas will get the ball out of bounds, and a chance to cut this lead to 3. So Ole Miss, what a great effort by the Lady Rebels here tonight at Texas. They led by 7, then they trailed by 7, and now they can pull within 3 with a basket. Only 1:09 to play.
You're going to see them once again try to go inside to Jennifer Gillum. They need the high percentage shots. Look at the 2 players. They've got her double teamed inside there.
Rebound knocked away. Lloyd had it. We've got a loose ball foul, and it's going to go on Ole Miss, and it's on Scott. And if it is, that's her 5th personal foul, and they have lost their first player via the foul route. So Elisa Scott fouls out of the game with 16 points and goes out with 58 seconds left to play. And she has played her heart out here tonight against Texas and is a little reluctant to leave the floor.
Van Chancellor would certainly like to have Elisa Scott for these last 58 seconds.
Again, Scott is going exactly the opposite direction than she's supposed to, but she wants to just get a little high five here. She's a junior, will be back. As a matter of fact, Ole Miss has but one senior, and that's her, Jennifer Gillum, number 22, the only senior that will be graduating from Ole Miss. We may hear more from them next year. Checking into the ball game will be Cynthia Autry. Autry out of Houston, Mississippi.
She's got a lot of pressure on her shoulders right now. She's cold coming into the basketball game. She's only a freshman. This is a pressure situation for anyone, especially a young player.
Nice hand for Scott, who not only scored 16 points, but also got 7 rebounds in this ball game tonight. She has more than 1,700 career points. Talking about Fran Harris, who shoots at the line for Texas, over 1,700 career points, and she puts down even a bigger foul shot for Texas. Jody Conrad, I don't think, knows this thing is over yet. She thinks Mississippi can certainly come back. At least that's what she's trying to convey to her players, not let them get overconfident at the moment. Harris with 7 in the half, 11, make it 12 for the ball game. Texas leads 65-58. 65-58, it's a 7-point lead by the Longhorns.
And here comes the Texas pressure, the traps.
Autry, they've got to get some shots up in a hurry. Bullard almost lost it. They're trying to get it cross court. They do. There's a nice pass underneath. And the shot goes underneath to Craig. She scores and quickly calls a timeout. And that's it for Ole Miss.
Kim Bullard has a great ability to see the open player, doesn't she, Sam?
Well, that puts it in to make it 65-60 in the final timeout of the basketball game by Ole Miss. And certainly Van Chancellor will be setting some strategy, but Texas will on the other end. Well, anytime you get 4 outstanding teams together, you've got 5 outstanding players, and they pick their all-tournament team. Becky, do the honors, if you will.
Well, Sam, really not too many surprises here from Ole Miss. Jennifer Gillum. From Texas, Beverly Williams. She is the player who really inspired the Texas team, especially the first half. Tammy Etheridge, also from Texas. Clarissa Davis, the great freshman player. And Ole Miss's Elisa Scott. You know, we talked earlier about Elisa Scott's game on Thursday night. She was barely able to walk at the end of the game. They took her out of the game. She came right back in and immediately scored 2 points. She said her philosophy is to play tonight or tomorrow. She may be hurting tomorrow. Look at the dejection on those players' faces. They have given everything they meant to.
Well, keep in mind that they had to go into overtime on Thursday night to knock off their fellow SEC opponent Auburn 56-55, and now have been pushed to the limit by Texas. By the way, the most outstanding player in this tournament is Jennifer Gillum. She has scored a total of 23 in this ball game and led the Lady Rebels into the finals against #1 Texas. But right now they're down by 5. They'll put some pressure on, and again, Ole Miss is out of timeouts. Texas has 3 should they need them, and they could use one up if they can't get the ball inbounds right here. Let's see. Lloyd does get it inbounds. Let's see if Ole Miss goes for a foul. They go quickly. They do get a foul on Beverly Williams, a 66% foul shooter. That will be the 7th call on Ole Miss, and Texas will be at the line 1 and the penalty.
They really didn't have a choice as who to foul there. They just had to foul quickly.
Well, certainly, as you take a look down the list of foul shooters, Williams, all for Texas now, 66% foul shooter. Annette Smith, 57. Fran Harris, number 20, is the one you don't want to foul at 79, 58 for Lloyd, and 68 for Etheridge. The players on the floor, Davis is a 63% foul shooter. So it's pretty much take your pick, and Beverly Williams is the one that drew the short straw this time. And she'll miss. Ole Miss with new life with Autry with a rebound. 36 seconds.
Jersey's up for the rebound.
5-point lead. Williams into the forecourt. Myra had it knocked away. Rebound, Gillum puts it up. No. Rebound battle for up underneath. There'll be a foul on Davis. And with Texas going over the limit with their 17th foul, it'll be foul shots coming by Ole Miss. And going to the line will be Vicki Craig, who took that terrible fall early in the game and is up and playing as Davis gets her 2nd foul. 26 seconds left to play. 1 goes on to Lexington.
Vicki Craig, of course, not a great free throw shooter, but she made it when it counted. She won the game for them in overtime on Thursday night.
Now Texas will take one of their last remaining timeouts. They still have 2 timeouts left to go. Ole Miss is out of timeouts as again Ole Miss will gather with their coach and Texas vice versa on the other end. 10,064. And don't forget, we'll all be back together again on ESPN as we'll continue it all over again as women's basketball semifinals of the Final 4 in Lexington, Kentucky. And that'll be starting at 7 o'clock on Friday Night 4 on the Pacific Coast. What excitement to make the Final 4 in women's basketball, Becky.
And Jody Conrad wants that more than anything. She said she has not gotten over the loss from last year. She said, I can win 10 national championships, and I will never forget that. I will never get over it. But I think if she wins this one tonight, Sam, I think that will ease some of the pain from the last 2 years.
There's some rich history by both of these ball clubs. The NCAA has held their women's basketball championships 5 times. Ole Miss and Texas have made it the last 4 consecutive years in a row. Keep in mind, they both lost in the Mid-East Regional last year to Western Kentucky, and that's the team that waits the winner of tonight's game. 26 seconds left to play to set the numbers for you. 65-60 Texas. They trailed at half, 32-29, and they will have the ball at the foul line in the hands of Ole Miss. Shooting will be Vicki Craig. I know that Craig's mind has to flash back to the win here on Thursday. She hit the front end of a 1-1 to beat Auburn. 2 foul shots would help and cut it to 3. Only a 44% foul shooter, and she's got the first one. They're going to have to give her the ball in pressure-packed situations more often.
Remember, Van Chancellor had a dream that the game came down to free throws, and she won it for them.
I don't think he dreamed there were 5 down with 26. It may have been a little closer in that dream. Second foul shot. Lloyd with a rebound for Texas. They're going to have to go for a foul. They do. Lloyd, a 58% foul shooter. That would have been the one to foul, certainly among the 5 on the floor right now. Her teammates rushing over say, no problem, just step up, hit us too. We need it. 65-61, Texas.
You're saying, hey, no pressure.
No. Who said that? They're not on the line. Becky, before things get very hectic here, I'd like to thank you very much for the job well done and enjoyed working with you. Hope to see you again somewhere down the road in more of the ESPN coverage of women's basketball or whatever. Thanks for the job.
Well, it's my pleasure, and what a wonderful game we've had to cover tonight.
It's a nice one. And again, there's still a better one to come, maybe. Southern Cal against Louisiana Tech. How much better can they get?
None.
Tennessee wins by 2. Now here we are in a close game as Andrea Lloyd with a clutch foul shot for Texas. 66-61. 23 seconds left. Misses there, and Ole Miss gets the rebound, but they got to push it in a hurry. 20 seconds. It's a 5-point Texas lead. Bullard down inside. Ackelberger. Rebound, Gillum. Gillum tries for another shot. It'll go. Gillum puts it down for a 14th in the half, her 25th of the game. Texas brings it ahead, and Williams is fouled and will go to the line shooting 1 in the penalty. 66-63. I think that Texas wanted to get a 2-shot penalty on an intentional foul. Let's see if they do. I think they may get an intentional foul as they foul out. And going out of the ball game will be Jennifer Gillum, who fouls out with her 5th personal foul. Fouls out as this tournament's most valuable player. 25 points and 8 rebounds for Jennifer Gillum.
What a tremendous effort by Jennifer Gillum tonight. That last possession of Ole Miss, as she was holding up her hands the entire time, she really wanted the basketball.
So again, correction on the rebound. She got 10. 25 points. She got 14 here in the second half. A couple of quick baskets down the stretch that cut this lead to 3. This is not over yet with 7 seconds with a 3-point game, and Beverly Williams at the line with a couple of clutch foul shots. She hit 4 and then missed 1. 1 is no good. They do give her the intentional foul, though. She has 2, so she misses 1. Again, Ole Miss out of timeouts. Texas still has 2. Beverly Williams, the leading scorer for Texas, with 20 tonight. 21 would be a beauty, but she won't get it. Rebound comes off inside to Autry. Ahead to Bullock. Only 4 seconds. Cross court to Williams. Williams has to hope for a basket and a foul. She won't get it, and Texas wins. So as the Lady Longhorns win and head for the Final Four, the gold ring is once again within their grasp as they'll play Western Kentucky in one of the semifinal games at Lexington next Friday. Texas beating Ole Miss with a score of 6.